Ogaro, KTN News.
Now, as earlier indicated, we of course are live at the regional event, the American Chamber of Commerce AmCham Business Summit for the year 2024. This of course is an event that brings together businesses with US affiliation here in Kenya, and of course businesses from Kenya that sell into the American market, and any potential stakeholders who might be interested in joining that conversation or getting into that trade. Our very own Noah Kipkemboy is standing by yet again to try and get that conversation going. So Noah, we interrupted you mid-sentence. Please take it away.
Thank you very much, Peter. You know, with network issues, sometimes we just have to swim over it. You know, that's the way that we do it in Nairobi with these floods. But I was having this conversation with Maxwell Okello, who's the CEO of American Chamber of Commerce, Kenya. And we had started by touching on the issue of the dollar. We have seen the dollar actually depreciate, the shilling appreciate. And we want to help us understand the interlinkage between the strength of the currencies with investment. What is happening here at AmCham Business Summit?
Thank you. So the reason why the dollar is strengthening is because there's higher demand for the dollar, and we don't have enough supply of dollars in the economy. And so this is where investment comes in, right? If we can get more dollars into the economy, we're able to cool down that demand, one. Then two, if we can export more, we're able to then bring in more dollars to cool down the economy, right? So the effect of having the Eurobond funds come in, the World Bank funds come in, right? So that cooled down the demand for the dollar, and the Kenyan shilling started appreciating. So our view is we need to encourage more investment into the country, and the AmCham Business Summit is exactly that platform that amplifies opportunities for investment, not just in Kenya, but in the region. By looking at this from an American multinational perspective, we want Kenya to be the launchpad, the gateway into the region for those companies.
Definitely. And so far, this is the 4th edition. If you can justify the 4th version of this summit. So far, what have we achieved over the past 3 ones in terms of the level of investment? And can you project what we in regards to investment quantum, what do we expect from this engagement from the 4th summit?
Thank you. So the whole investment journey, let me call it a journey because that's what it is one that takes a bit of time in terms of cycle, right? If you're a company in the US, you're interested in Kenya, you're interested in Africa, you come attend a summit such as this, you're wowed. You know, there's opportunity. I think we need to pay more attention into this region. You then have to go through a certain process of farming up the eventual investment decision. And that usually is a 3, sometimes even 5-year process. So we create that drumbeat and promote Kenya as an investment destination. And that's what we've been doing over the past 4 editions. The announcements that you had or will be hearing tomorrow, and that you had last year when you were here, some of those things have actually been cooking for a couple of years for them to get to that point in time. So we are very keen to see the impact. And you can see our summit keeps getting bigger. We have over 1,200 delegates here today. A lot of them coming in from the US, coming in from the region. Of course, we have our own Kenyan private sector, the regional private sector here. But at the end of the day, the objective is create those meaningful connections that would lead to investment outcomes. But as I said earlier, the whole objective about this, or behind this, is to ensure that we can drive economic prosperity and create jobs that we can get our youth and women and others in.
There are avenues that are hot right now when you talk about investment. Anything sustainable, that is something that investors are looking out to. Talk to me about how the Kenyan environment is wooing these investors from the US, and what are some of the, we can call them sectors, that are ripe for investment and there is huge global demand for?
So Kenya is, I think the figure keeps oscillating between 85, maybe 90, up to 93% green in terms of its energy resources. And that's unique. In Kenya, we are not talking about an energy transition. We're trying to figure out how we can stimulate more demand so that we can utilize the power that we're already producing that is clean. So that's a significant or a big carrot for companies that would want to invest in the green space, right? And then two, it is also an opportunity to drive technology, that would help mitigate climate impact and climate action. So we have, as part of this summit, a segment that focuses specifically on sustainable investment, sustainable finance, but also innovative solutions that help drive sustainability. So that's one area of opportunity. And of course, the ones we know. Tech is a big one. AI, we have significant investment coming into the country through AI, sourcing AI engineers, Kenya, servicing companies in the US. Agriculture will always remain a hotbed for investment if you look at the entire value chain. Manufacturing, specific to textile and apparel, is a big one and a big employment creator for this country. So there are several. We're looking at different sectors, and I believe that there are some unique white spaces where American companies can come in and participate and actually derive value. Yeah.
And before I let you go, of course, talking about policy and enabling investment, it seems since if you hold the money, you hold the leverage. So sometimes you sit back and ask, okay, what do you have for me? In terms of creating an enabling environment for international investors in Kenya, especially from the states, what are their concerns? What concerns are you seeing from their end that are raising in regards to the policy environment for business here that maybe we need to tweak a little bit to encourage more investment here?
Stability in terms of our policy and regulatory environment. That's an obvious one, especially if you take it the route of the tax environment, the tax regime in the country. There's significant effort that have gone into this. I must commend the government with the possibility of coming into play a national tax policy that actually the president announced at the last AmCham summit. We just need to get that actualized. But that is one significant opportunity, if I may put it that way, that would help companies be able to see into the future. Because you want that predictability as much as possible for you to make a long-term investment decision. So that's one, that's a big one. Of course, then we also need to look at the enabling environment broadly. There are certain sectors where there are certain non-tariff barriers that need to be resolved. There's infrastructural issues that need to be resolved as well. And then, of course, issues relating to governance, especially where there's competitiveness that is involved. We want to see more American businesses participate, especially in your public type of contracting, so that they can bring in that distinction of innovation and quality into that space as well.
That's quite interesting. Now, the tendering process, I know it's been in the works, participation in public tenders by American companies. Is it something that has been finalized?
Well, again, process. It's a process, but it is a discussion that more and more is being had. There are tools from the US government, for example, the Global Procurement Initiative, that really try to sharpen processes and procedures within procurement that I think we can leverage as a country for, just expanding that space and making sure that there's value that is being derived ultimately when it comes to public procurement. Yeah.
Max, what are we looking for from the president tomorrow, or that we leave to the president?
We leave to the president. You better be here, man.
We'll be here covering this, but I really appreciate it. Thank you very much for your time. All right, so that is Mr. Maxwell Okello is the CEO of AmCham, that is American Chamber of Commerce, Kenya, and he says that the actually correlation between investment and even the macroeconomics, the dollar becomes very critical. Now, since our Kaba, we are having an interesting time here. You ask about what investors are looking for. One of the issues that comes up strongly is the issue of innovation. How can you be able to create sustainable solutions that are quite interesting and are solving challenges that a lot of Kenyans are facing and Africa at large. One of the places that I've seen, it is actually at Coca-Cola. I see there's a nice place. Nebat, if you can just check here, we have a very nice place that I can sit and hold. There's a gentleman here. Sir, come. It's you that I want to talk to. I wanted you to sit down here, but we can't, yeah? Even, in fact, hey, may the Lord help us. But this is really nice. What's your name? I see actually Peter Gashuki from Ken. Kelvin Muruki. You're wearing somebody's tags, my friend. Talk to me about Taka Earth. You guys are saying that sustainability is the way forward. How so?
So my name is Kelvin Muriuki from Takath, as you mentioned, and our whole goal is to document climate action. And sustainability only works if we're putting in action, not just saying words, right? So the whole goal is to be able to offer people opportunities to actually do work within sustainability. And from sustainability, well, we're all being sustainable. And that follows with Coca-Cola's vision of a world without waste. And that means for every bottle that Coca-Cola puts out, we collect that back, right? By 2030. That's the vision for Coca-Cola. So every bottle, every can we put out, we collect it back, we get it to a recycler, and make sure that people are earning from that service.
So far, the impact on the ground, because when you look at Kenya, matters to do with unemployment is a huge issue. Talk to me about the potential of sustainable investment has to sort of transform this issue of youth unemployment.
Yeah. So what we've done with Coca-Cola is come up with a smart bin, which I'll show you. And what the smart bin does is it's to ensure that we incentivize consumers to earn from recycling. So for every bottle that you give us back, we give you some money back. So it means that from the basic things within your house that you consider waste, you can buy your next product, right? And from that, the whole goal is if we can improve the livelihoods of people one by one item by one item, then we can ideally give people ability to earn more just from basic things as packaging, bottles, cans, everything. Yeah.
That's incredible. I see the recycler is right there. Yeah. I would have taken this small bag to the place. But Peter, this is some of the innovation that we are seeing. So you get your bottle. Can I get one of them? Yes. I'm tempted to do a little bit of, you know that? I know I'll miss, man. I'm going to miss. But so you dispose it?
Yes.
In?
Then what the bin does immediately is it has a sensor, and the sensor senses and tries to identify what type of waste it is. Then once it does, it shows you what waste type it is and drops it in. Then after that, it then shows you what's the carbon emission value that you've then just saved by using this bin. However, this is what you're seeing on AmCham. For what you'll see as a consumer is the fact that from throwing that bottle in, you're able to get money back. So you throw in a Coca-Cola bottle, a Fanta bottle, you throw in anything in there and you're earning from it. Okay. And once you earn from it, then the other thing that it does, it helps Coca-Cola to track their sustainability. So if Coca-Cola says that they've put out 50 metric tons of carbon and captured it through this smart bin, they're able to trace that because that effort is individual effort between you, myself, yeah.
That's incredible. Yeah. I mean, when you talk about innovation, because this is super cool. Yeah. As a young person who is innovating, how enabling is the Kenyan ecosystem in terms of innovators like you? Is there something that we can do better to bring out more innovations such as this?
Yes, so I think one of the most important thing, and this is what we've also tried to do within our team, is have as many young people as possible, right? Because they're coming up with new technologies every day. And instead of trying to go back to school every single day, how many people can you bring into the table and innovate much faster? So we have mechatronic engineers on our table, we have molecular geneticists on our table, we have software engineers, we have designers. And when you bring all these people together, you're able to build up something that would have ideally had to import. And we don't need to do that. We have the capability here. We have people who've studied really well. Our school system is working really well. All we need is more opportunities. And that's what we're getting with Coca-Cola. The ability for us as a young company to work with a big company as Coca-Cola is definitely mind-blowing, right? Because it's not every day as a startup you wake up and say that, oh, we're doing this work with Coca-Cola, right? Yes. So that's what I would say is really, really impressive about this. The environment is conducive, and if you get enough young people practicing within technology and problem solving, then you will consistently have solutions that are earning people money.
Thank you very much, Calvin. I really appreciate it. That's nice. You know, I'm tempted to take this up. And Peter, you know, the future is sustainability. Here we have, I want to serve you tea, a sustainable tea, where you are in the studio. It is soil, of course. It won't bring anything out. Come on. But this AmCham, the 4th edition, and tomorrow President William Ruto will be here. We'll be looking at the numbers he'll be dropping tomorrow in regards metrics of investment, some of the deals that is going on right now, even that we don't see, that will be announced tomorrow, of course. Keep it KTN News for all those updates. But now, back to you, Peter Wakaba in studio. It's heavy, man.
For 1 minute there, I thought he was going to try and throw that kettle into the machine and see just how much he can get for it. But, well, we now want to proceed on a short commercial break. On the other side of that, remind you that we have 3 guests in the studio standing by to get into conversations around business strategy, growing your business, and indeed from ideation to, well, turning your idea into a real business. We, of course,